Have I come to this planet to pay bills?
Leaders are not born, they are made.
So I want to meet you for half an hour. How much will you charge? Everyone will be buying and selling time.
विश्व में केवल 10% ऐसे लोग हैं जो गोल सेट करते हैं.
The manager converted into a leader and you said, we all know, let's do it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you today? I am so excited to be back on BSB Live after a very long time. We've had a lot of gap, and now I promise you that we'll be here every fortnight. That is the promise, and that's a commitment. So we have got back, as you know, firstly, that this is a show I do every fortnight where I bring in my expertise of military-inspired leadership, where I have given or have I had 38 years of military leadership experience, which I've applied in the corporate world for 20 plus years. I bring in a guest who's an expert, and their expertise is integrated with leadership. So today, the topic is very interesting. We are talking about lead with a smile. Lead with a smile, creating joy in the workplace. Today, we are going to discuss how important it is for a leader to be absolutely aware and conscious of the fact that they need to be happy themselves. And because they are happy themselves, they are also able to generate and spread happiness. You always heard that one smile brings in 1,000 smiles. So if they are happy and they learn the art of bringing happiness in the workplace, then their teams, their employees, they also work in a happy environment, and science has proved it, that happy people bring in better results. When we are talking about happiness, we have our expert guest today, and she is, besides anything else, I'll just tell you a little bit about her bio, but that is an official thing. I'm going to tell you more about what I know about her. Dr. Alka Chadda is a happy doctor, and she's a friend of mine. We have been friends for a couple of years now. We have done some networking event together, and now we are very close and active associates in the Professional Speakers Association of India. This doctor runs a beautiful clinic in Navi Mumbai with her husband, and it is called Hope and Care. She's been running it for 30 years. But please be careful. When you see her, you will wonder if she's even 30 years old herself. So I don't know. I always ask her, Alka, did you start this clinic when you were born? But then this young, beautiful lady is also a grandmother. That's just to warn you before you think that you're talking to a very young girl. Okay. So she also runs a senior Club. And one very thing that I've learned of hers for a long time is that she treats her patients more with happiness and love and care than medicines, because she says they are the ones that cure people better. Okay, as now in PSCI, she's leading our Mumbai chapter, and because she's been very active and she comes all the way from Navi Mumbai to Andheri East whenever there's a program. And I really admire her for that commitment that she has. Okay. So she's now been speaking. We have been speakers together. Last year, we shared a stage in Malaysia together at the Malaysian Association of Professional Speakers. We were also together at Bali to attend the Global Speakers Summit. So Alka is all over. She is not only a doctor, that is her profession. She loves poetry. She's an author. She has authored 4 books. She is a professional speaker. And I don't know how many more things she's going to be. Now, I don't want to keep the suspense too long. Let me introduce this very beautiful lady who's coming on the stage. She's just preparing to come on the stage because she must do up her makeup and all that. And there we bring her on the stage.
Thank
Welcome, Alka. Welcome very much. And Alka, I have just given your introduction. You must have heard it. And I also now realized that in all these years that I've known you, red is your favorite color, it looks like. And you always look
yeah.
so beautiful in this red color. And all your profile pictures are in red color. So don't you think this observation of mine is correct?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. And it gives me a lot of energy, this red color. And when I go to a shop to buy something, he will show me 10 colors. He'll say, ma'am, you can look at yellow, green, and blue. And I'll say, okay, I'll take blue or I'll take yellow. And finally, I'll come back to red. So my wardrobe is full of shades of red and orange and pink. So, I mean, that's my heart goes to red and pink and orange. That's what it is. Thank you for the warm introduction, and I'm really happy to be here, the beginning of Haseen. It's a pleasure and it's a privilege to be here on your show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And, I'll also tell you that uh, whatever this red color does to you, it does certainly bring in a lot of energy. And you
Yeah,
said red goes to your heart. And then I want to tell the viewers that Alka also has a heart made of gold. So if you haven't seen a person with a heart of gold, that is Alka. So Alka, let's begin because we have a
yeah,
limited time and I want the audience to get the best out of you. So the
yeah,
first thing, which is my obvious question, which I've asked you many times, and I know the answer, but I'm sure the viewers will like to know that you are a doctor by profession. Then what made you pick up this subject of happiness as your message to the world? And I know that you speak on this, you write on this, and I think you live that message. So let's have you answer that question, that why did you pick up happiness as your subject?
yeah. So it goes like this that I've been seeing patients for more than 30 years and from all walks of life, from all age groups, from all cultures. And I see one thing, the common thread which binds all the patients is the people who are looking at the beauty in the world, the people who are positive, the people who are harmonious by themselves. They are the people who come to me less often, and I miss them more because they fall sick less often. The people who have good, happy thoughts, they are the people who are more better performance, they have better productivity, and they're more successful. The people who have negative thoughts, the people who are all the time looking for unhappiness, ye theek nahi hai, ye theek nahi hai, this is not good, the bureaucracy is not good, those are the people who fall sick more number of times, and I see them more often. And then I was doing this survey with my patients, like 30,000, more than 100,000 patients I must have seen. And what I understood was that if the person is positive, looking for the beauty in others, looking for the beauty in the world around them, they are much equipped to look at challenges and to face challenges. And that makes them very, very resilient. And happiness is a game of resilience. There's a thousand things which is going to irritate us every single day. Somebody cuts you in the traffic, is going to irritate you. But the point is how quickly you bounce back to normal and higher than that. That is happiness for me. And so when I learned from these patients, I decided that I have to preach this message to everybody. And that's how I became to the speaker place. And I tell everybody, I'm going to teach you how to skill yourself on being a happy, harmonious, positive person, because that's going to help you to become and have better performance and to have more productivity and more prosperity also because of that. But you don't waste your time here and there, talking negative things and making excuses and blaming people and things like that. That's my answer. Thank you so
You're
much.
so right. You're so right. And I've experienced this also. See, I found when I was in the army, there were three commanding officers in a brigade. The commanding officer, who himself was cheerful and very happy, ran a very happy team. That team used to always perform better. And in one particular case, we were in Ramgarh, and I knew one battalion CO who would have never smiled in his life. And he was so stern and so strict with people that people used to hate him. How could that battalion ever do well? And it never did. Okay, till that CO remained there, there was this problem. And then when he was dined out, that's the term we use in the army, when he got posted out, people said, thank God. No, you don't want to be leaders like this. So today we are talking about leaders who must lead with happiness, lead with a smile on your face that adds to people's smiles. And when
Yeah.
people smile, they always produce better, whether it's in the battlefield or on the boardroom, anywhere in life. Even a happy teacher produces happy students. That also I've seen in your school. Alka, you must have seen it right from your childhood in your school as well. That happy teachers will produce or bring out
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful human beings.
And
So
a happy
now that,
mother will produce happy children.
yeah, that's also right. Very right. Absolutely. And when a
If the
lady,
mother is grumbling all the time,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember in our families whenever a lady was in the family way, she was told, "Don't watch horror movies, don't get annoyed, don't be," so because that is affecting the baby in the womb. So yes, I think that is a very, very important thing. Now, having said this and understood the base thing that every human being who is happy performs better, who's happy is more productive, is more prosperous, and all that. But let's come back to professional life.
Yeah.
Why do you think leaders need to remain happy? And, many people have asked me this question in the corporate world, that I don't care about happiness, I want results. I'm a
Yeah.
CEO of a company. I'm here for performance. I'm here for results. I'm not winning a vote here. I'm not going to be focusing on happiness. That takes away my energy. I have to tell my people, you got to achieve these results. So how do you react to this type of a response?
Very simple, no? See, today, if you look at the world on this planet, actually, the mental health is declining because of this stress factor which is coming into our lives. And if the leader is going to be stressing on the profits and the productivity and the profitability of the institution of the organization. Today only I had a boy who was about 38, 39 years of age. He came with his father, and his father was to be given some IV, and I was talking to them, and I said, today how come you come today? You're working in the corporate, right? So he said, yeah, today is Good Friday, so thank God we have a holiday. But then the father was always telling me, this boy has no time to talk to us. He has no time to say hello to us. And we as parents, we understand. And because he's not married today, it is okay. But a leader in the office, when he is very strict or when he's only focusing on blah, 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 he is not focusing on the mental health of the people around him. And if they are upset, if they are sad, if they don't like something, how are they going to perform? Tell me. If they feel hostile towards the leader feels not very connected to the people in his own company, in his own territory. How is he going to communicate? Your communication is going to go at a standstill. You can't communicate if you're hostile with each other. So expression of your thoughts in a community, in a organization is very, very important. And the person, when he's happy, when he's harmonious with himself, when he likes himself, when he's proud of himself, when he's proud of the work that he's doing, he brings about that smile on his face, and he invites a smile from the opposite people, and then people can share their problems and people can solve their problems. If otherwise, there is no communication. So communication is very important, as you know very well, and you are always talking about communication. But if the communication is cut out because of the hostility of the teacher, of the leader, then the whole problem is starting. That's what happens.
Absolutely. Actually, now you're also reminding me when you talked about this patient who came to you with his son. Uh, I was posted in Bangalore and I had a very, very stupid leader who was my boss, super boss. And this person, but firstly, again, he was also the variety, never smile type of a variety. He also thought, I knew him earlier, but the moment you come into a position like this, you become stern. Some people do that in the army because that is the way they think, that you have to keep distance. And that is also correct. In the army, you do have to keep distance. But there's a way of doing it, and that is a way that you don't become very friendly with people, but you don't become friends, but you remain friendly. There's a difference in them. So my mother was there and I used to need to take her to the hospital, and every time I fixed an appointment with the doctor, somewhere he used to have so many meetings in the afternoon, in the evening, that the moment I used to fix with the doctor a meeting, he would keep a conference. So one day I asked him, I said, "Sir, I've got my mother. There's 3 times that my appointments have been cancelled. Is there no time that I will have for my mother? Or let's say if I want to invite some people for dinner, I don't know whether I'll be back home for dinner at that time or not. So at least allow us some time for our personal lives." And, I had started using a term there for him. I said his style is lead by terrorism. Terrify people. And,
Yeah.
so now I'll tell you, anyone in fear, anyone in stress, how can he ever produce good results? No way. No way. Then I have had a CEO who lives in your country called Navi Mumbai. He's been one of the best supporters. Best, I learned a lot from him. Name is Brede Dharam Prakash. And he taught me lots in life. He was also, like there was absolutely an on parade and off parade. In the office, he had never shouted at a person. We didn't know that he has anger as an emotion in his life at all. So one day I remember when there was something that a JCO had done wrong and he was very upset with him. All that he called him and said, "Sab, kya ye aapko shobha deta hai?" That was that was the worst he ever. I mean, like, I never seen him more strict than that. So my
Yeah.
point is that, you know we need to also understand that human connection is most important.
Yes.
If we don't
Absolutely.
maintain human connection and we remain robotic, then in today's world we can borrow robotics. Now, why do we need leaders? Acha, now we are talking, we are also speakers, and you know that we learn this over and over again in our professional speaking career, that it is not the importance of the person on the stage, it is the importance of the person in the audience. And so is
Absolutely.
it in the case of leadership, that if a leader focuses on these people, and as per army principles, they say there are only 2 things a leader must do. Okay, this is a very strong thing. It was in the British Army, it came back to us also. He said a leader's jobs are 2. One is accomplishment of mission at all costs.
Yes.
Accomplishment of mission at all costs. And the second is welfare of men.
Mm.
And it is believed that men who are not happy, men, when I'm talking of men, I'm talking of soldiers. There were only men, so we call them men, but now
Mm.
it is men and women. Of course, there are still no women soldiers, but I'm also talking of junior officers. So you have lady officers now. The point is, that you have to maintain such a fine balance, because if you look too much at accomplishment of cost, sorry, of task, you will not be able to take care of your people. And if you take too much of care of your people, you will not be able to accomplish the task. So you
Yes.
have to maintain a very fine balance between accomplishment of the task. So I
Yeah.
followed this very, very well, and I think it worked very well for me. In my 38 years of leadership experience, I'll tell you, I have some major, major failures as a leader, and I learned from them. But that was also a stepping stone, and I can teach a lot to leaders today only because of those bad experiences. When I
Yeah.
knew that how, if you believe in something, things can go wrong. And one of these things which I did wrong was that I was so much ahead of people. I would work 20 hours a day or 18 hours a day, and you looked back and you found the team is far behind. So,
Yeah.
unless you can slow down and be with your team, you have to be with them. You don't have to lead them.
Yeah.
To lead them by being with them. So, I'm coming back to the welfare of men. And the welfare of men, we used to say that a man who's not happy, so looking after the welfare of the family. So in the army, we have a tradition that the officer's wife runs the welfare center, and she
Yeah.
gets to know the nerves of the families. And one day I remember my wife asked in my battalion, "What can we do for you? What can we do for you?" And you know what she said? One lady got up and said, "मैम ये फैमिली वेलफेयर सेंटर बंद कर दो, यहाँ पे
Acha.
इतना टाइम जाता है, ठीक है,
Hmm.
या हमारे हस्बैंड्स को घर आने का मौका दो, रात को 8 बजे तो घर आते हैं." So we realized that we need to give them a time. And I
Yeah.
gave my Jawans a gift of time. I
Hmm.
laid down such strict instructions about closing of the office
Yeah.
that they started going home on time. Then the wives had no problem about coming to the welfare center because they found enough time with their husbands coming, not only
Hmm.
for them, but also for the children. So,
Hmm.
having said all this, we talked of the human connection. And I've
Yes.
heard you use this term very often.
Yeah.
What do you think? I want your views on how leaders should be building up this human connection.
So the thing is that when you mention about family, the family is the first organization which a child is facing as he grows up. In the family as an organization, he's taught leadership, he's taught team spirit, and he's taught different responsibilities are given to this child, and he grows up fulfilling all this responsibility. So these are the value systems which a family gives to a child, and as he grows up, and when this child becomes a leader, when he's infused with all these beautiful value systems, he becomes a better leader. But a child who is completely pampered and who has not given any responsibility, I remember in my own house, my father, he never pampered us at all. He told us ki, if your car has broken down, go and change the stepney, don't ring me up. If your car has broken down, if your tire is punctured, go and do it yourself. My father taught us self leadership, and he himself was showing us self leadership because he was attached to many organizations. And on the day of the event, he was ringing up the flower wala, he was ringing up the food wala and all of that. So I told him, why are you doing all this? Why don't you give it to the juniors? He said, I've given the work to the juniors, but I'm still just making it sure that this work happens properly. So he was a servant leader. He used to go on stage, he used to go half an hour before the event, he used to go on the stage, he used to see everything is fine, and then all the youngsters used to come behind him and they used to work with him. So servant leadership is something that I have learned in my life, and I also feel that I can teach it to the people in my own clinic. I do it because by telling them to do this and to do that, better it is to show them how to do it. So, well, your question about leadership is, how do you tackle human connection? Is when I'm in my clinic, I am sitting with them every single day and having lunch with them. And not because I want to have, not only I want to have human connection with them, but the other reason is I like their food better than my food. So I sit with them, and when we have lunch, we exchange a lot of our views. I know what is happening in the clinic. I know there are 10 people in the clinic, so who is having what problem? And the human connection can be established not by power, but by asking them, "Arey, what happened here? Your child was not feeling well. You had a tooth problem. Your father was not feeling well last time. How is your father?" So when we sit and we talk to them, see, it doesn't cost you anything. It's about just listening to them and just reaching out to them and asking them how they are feeling. Are we even concerned about their future? Are we even helping them to put money in a different kinds of investments? Are we helping them to do that? So my boy, boy with me, who is for 25 years now, more than 25 years, I remember when his daughter was born, I had told him that you make an account in this Sukanya, and every month you transfer 100 rupees from your account to Sukanya. And when his daughter became 25 years of age, she got so much money from there. And then he tells everybody that this is what I learned. So it's about showing the concern and actually being concerned about the people who are working for you. And when we are empathetic towards them, when we show that we love them, they automatically love us much more than what we do. So I feel very grateful that I've learned this servant leadership from my dad. And I always feel that connecting with them, they are helping me so much in my clinic. My patients, if I've seen 100,000 patients till today, it's because of these people. So I'm very, very grateful to the people who work for me. And that is my way of showing my leadership. It is with love and affection and being non judgmental, reaching out to them and asking them little, little things about their daily life. This is how the human connection is established, according to me.
Very good. I think it's very good. And again, and before I go to my next point, and not a question, but I'll just exemplify some of the things you've said. I want to talk to the audience that if you are liking it, if you have any questions, you have any comments, like you must have shown, just seen that, you know, people's comments came up on the screen. So I will be very happy to see more comments coming up so that we know that are you enjoying it? Is it, or you have any questions, or you want to know something more, so that we can build that into our conversation. Okay, so Alka,
Hmm.
when you talked of these human connections and all, and you said that if you know kiske ghar mein kya ho raha hai, you know what's happening. There are two stories that come to my mind, and I want to share both of them. First one is that I was a very young lieutenant in Bihar Regiment, and my company commander taught me this at a very young age, that you have to be very, very open with your people to understand their problems. And in the army, there used to be a thing called Know Your Men. So ये caption ना जगह जगह लगे होते थे on our walls and all, know your men. And we were made to write down in a register. So those days there was no photocopying, there was no computer, nothing. So you used to take a register. So when you join as a lieutenant, as a second lieutenant, you had 30 people. You are a platoon commander, you have 30 men under your command. So you would, on the left side, write down the name of the person and his complete biodata. And on the other side, you would have his complete, good points and bad points. Whenever he did something good, you wrote that. Whatever he did something that was weak, you read that. So you got to understand that person. You knew his family, you know how much land, normally the agriculture people, how much land they have, where do they belong to, all that. One day, one Jawan came to me. His name was Joachim Khalko. I still remember, Adivasi from Bihar. Now it is Jharkhand. So he came to me and he said, Sir, I want to go on leave. तो मैंने ये भी सीख लिया था अपने कंपनी कमांडर से कि don't ask people, because they come out with excuses, and they will say that my mother is not well, my father is not well. कई लोगों के कई बारी मदर फादर कई बारी उनकी डेथ होती है एक साल में. So I said, no excuses. Your authorized leave. You say that you want to leave. You go on leave. I'm not even interested. What is so? You don't have to explain. No excuse. No reasons required. So this is why he walks up to me. Sab chutti jana. मैं कहा जाओ. But then out of welfare, I asked him. So what happened? Anything particular? He said, sir, मेरी माता जी गिर गई हैं. उनका दाहिना घुटना टूट गया है. Oh, I said, okay, all the best. And go and let me know how she is when you come back. After about a month or so, or maybe 3 weeks, I found him on the sports ground, and I called him. I said, Joachim, idhar aao. So he came. I said, आपकी माता जी का दाहिना घुटना कैसे है? He was flabbergasted because
Mm.
for a Jawan to know that you remember
Mm.
my problem, you remember not only my mother but also the right knee. It gives him so much of confidence that this person is caring for me. And
Yeah.
every human being without an exception loves to be cared for. And
Yes.
this is a feeling if you give to people. Joachim became such a loyal person of mine because, and then it carried on because it became a habit. Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing I'll tell you is I was a chairman of army school in Bareilly, and there was a girl who used to never speak. She was a very quiet girl, very introvert. But one day she had not come back home. Sorry, she had not done her homework. So the teacher asked, why have you not, how many people have not done their homework? So a lot of people who came up with that. And she said, why? Next day, and she gave a lot of warning and said, next time somebody doesn't do homework, I do this, that, blah, whatever, how teachers talk, strictly. And the next day again, she asked for who has not done the homework. That girl stood up again. When it happened for the third or fourth time, and by then only two, three students were there who were still not doing their homework, this teacher got furious and she told this girl, यू आर सो स्टबन, तो इतनी ढीठ है, तू सुनती नहीं है, तेरे को रोज समझाती हूँ तो फिर भी होमवर्क नहीं करती है. So she is looking down
Mm.
and she looked up and nobody had heard her voice and she said, नहीं करूंगी, नहीं करूंगी, नहीं
नहीं कर-
करूंगी.
क्या बात है.
Oh my God. There was, pin drop silence. The teacher didn't know what hit her. She said,
Yeah.
मैम आपको पता है मेरी लाइफ में हो क्या रहा है?
Mm.
मेरे फादर कारगिल में है, लड़ाई में. मेरी मदर को कैंसर है, वो हॉस्पिटल में है.
Yeah.
मैं सुबह, मेरे दो छोटे भाई हैं. आई मेक फूड फॉर देम.
Yeah.
I make food for my mother. I make my own tiffin. I go to the hospital, give my food, my mother the food, ask her how she is, and then
Mm.
I come to school. And immediately after school, I have to go back to the hospital to take care of my mother. I'm back
Mm.
home in the evening, and I've got whole house job to be done. Tell
Oh
me,
my.
madam, मैं homework कब करूं? And I had given this example to all my teachers.
Yeah.
Like we used to maintain that register. I said, know your students. Like we used to say, know your men, know your students. And I
Yeah.
said, every teacher needs to know every student very well. Today,
Mm.
for every teacher, it'll be a reality that in your class there could be good 20 to 30% or whatever percentage of children who are from broken families, who are seeing violence at home, who are not
Yes.
happy at home. And if
Yes.
the teacher also doesn't give them happiness. So I know of one teacher who said, I had parents like this. They were fighting all the time. I never had a happy childhood. So now I give, and she said, I didn't get love at home. I didn't
Yeah.
get love at school. So
Mm.
today I give so much of love to my students that they should not feel that way. This is
Absolutely.
the importance of creating good human connections, of creating
Yes.
and being empathetic. I think to me, one of the most important traits of a leader is empathy. If
Empathy.
you have
Yes.
empathy, you have love and care in your mind, you
Yeah.
can get every job done. And I can say with pride that I have been very strict in getting my jobs done, but people still loved me only for one thing. They knew that when they need me, I'm there.
Yes. That's true.
And
Very, very true.
let me just quickly cover one more thing because the moment it comes to your mind and it is
Mm.
bringing out such a good lesson.
Mm.
In Bareilly, when I was posted and I was a brigadier that time,
Mm.
outside my office, we have somebody who's called a stick orderly. He's very
Mm.
ceremoniously dressed and all, and he's the one who maintains your office. He's the one who handles visitors. He's the one who will tell people that, okay, go to the PA, get this, and or tell me that so and so has come to visit you and all.
Mm.
So there was this chap called Radha Krishnan. He was my stick oddly. And one day he came to me and he said, Sir, साहब मैंने सुना है कि आपकी पोस्टिंग हो गई है.
Mm.
मैंने कहा हो गई है पोस्टिंग. तो he said, तब आप जहां भी जाओगे ना, नहीं सॉरी, आने वाली है, पोस्टिंग आने वाली है, मैं कहा हाँ, आप जहां भी जाओगे ना सर, मेरे को भी
Hmm.
ले चलो। मैं कहा राधा कृष्ण, तो मेरे से दुखी नहीं हुआ अभी तक, मैं तो रोज इतना डांट देता हूँ, रोज तो
Hmm.
सुबह कभी तेरी कोई पेंसिल शार्पन नहीं होती, कभी इंक नहीं होती पेन में, तो मैं तुमको डांटता ही रहता हूँ, तो तुम
Hmm.
तो शुक्र नहीं करोगे कि मैं जाऊंगा। ही सेड सर,
Hmm.
मेरे को आपकी डांट बिल्कुल याद नहीं आती है। और जब मेरी मदर बीमार थी और वो लखनऊ हॉस्पिटल में दिखाना था, तो आपने मेरी मदर के लिए गाड़ी अरेंज की, उनके लिए अकोमोडेशन अरेंज की, और डॉक्टर को फोन करके बोला कि इसका ध्यान रखना। और मेरे को जवान होते हुए भी मेरे को डॉक्टर ने प्रायोरिटी पे देखा। सर मेरे को तो वो याद आता है, मेरे को आपकी डांट बिल्कुल याद नहीं आती। दैट
Wonderful.
यू सी, दैट
Hmm.
इज व्हाट ब्रिंग्स रिजल्ट्स।
Yeah, yeah.
Meeting Brigadier Tejinder here, who is also one of my good friends online. We haven't met as yet, so we are together on LinkedIn, and I think he is actually agreeing that very German issues regarding leadership and running a happy team. Even I have come across quite a few leaders who were totally disdainful when it came to happy team part, and have imbibed the lessons from the humane leaders too. Interesting talk. Thank you, Tejinder, and yeah, continue giving us your views. I also have another army officer, and Alka knows him as well as I know, and I hope you can guess, Alka.
From PSCI?
No, not from PSAI.
Aditya. Hi, Aditya. How are you?
So
And
he also remembers you, and he's saying,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Happy doctor, hello, happy doctor."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have
Aditya,
had some very good times together, all of us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, for those who don't know why we are saying this, Aditya, Alka, and I were in a team together working
Yes.
during COVID on a happy neighborhood project. And that
Yeah.
also was happiness. And we also shared a lot of happiness on that platform. Okay, so let's continue now. Alka, I want to get back to you
Hmm.
because now we have crossed the half time mark, and
Yeah.
we must get down to more uh, basics. So I want to know from your experience, what are the signs for a leader to know that his team is not happy? That, because people
He will
assume,
be he will be a very lonely leader. He
okay,
will be
that is
alone. He will be alone because he doesn't listen to. You said empathy, no? Empathy is there, but if a leader is lonely, if he's not listening to the people in his team, then he's not knowing what is happening in his team. A lonely leader is a very very unhappy leader, and that is a sign that he is not at all connected with the people in his team. So there are 5 or 6 things I always say. Like I'm wearing this pearls ka necklace, and the necklace N is to be non-judgmental. This applies to every human being, to be empathetic, to connect with your people in your team. K is to know, you said know your soldier, to know your people. L is to listen with your heart, not with your ear. A is to accept the people in your team. Sometimes there may be one or two people who are not like what you want them to be, but the way you accept them, the way you interrogate them, the way you connect with them is very important. A is that, and K is know your, and C, and last is empower your team. So this applies to every, like I'm a doctor, I say this necklace to my patient that I have to do this for my patients, and only when I care for my patient can I bring about the best in my patient. I can empower the patient. Today it is not about treating somebody one sidedly. I need the cooperation of my patient to help him to empower himself and to do the things that he has to do. The same thing applies to we as human beings. One human being to another human being, leader to his team member to his leader. So I have seen very lonely leaders in my life because they're so arrogant and they sit on a high pedestal and they're very unhappy. And most of them, let me tell you, they've had heart attacks.
yeah, yeah,
That,
yeah. You're very right.
that
Actually, I was talking about one person in that category in the army, and then I'm not too sure about his heart attack, but he went through a court martial. So that's what happens to them.
yeah, they get the high blood pressure, they get diabetes. These are all
Yeah,
stress,
because
signs
somewhere,
of stress.
Because what happens is, like when a singer goes or a speaker goes and is on the mic, and you also get a vibe back from the mic, that that vibration is the one. And if a leader does get to know that vibration, whether uh, he is being heard, he is being popular, no, I won't say popular, but he is respected, he is loved. तो आपको पता चल जाता है कि you are not being loved, you are not, they are following orders because they have to, not because they
Yeah,
want to.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if you
yeah.
can
Because
become a leader, if you can become a leader whose command, I'll say, or whose desire is obeyed and implemented by the followers, not because they have to, because they love to.
they
If you
want
reach
to.
that stage, then you are a good leader. You just in
Absolutely.
your necklace talked about
Mm.
accept. You said that all team members will not be the same as you want them to be. So I feel that I, along with most men in the world, never got a wife that you really desired, that complete, everything that a wife should have, you never have. But then don't we learn how to accept the way they are? So,
Yeah.
there's a very famous saying to say, love me as I am and
Yes.
not as you would like me to be.
Yes.
Because I think I've had a very, very interesting uh, lesson, not lesson, but lessons.
Mm.
I got a CD. I went and attended her session on happiness, and this lady is Sister Shivani, the Brahm Kumari. And, she talks about this also, that happiness comes from your mindset. That
Absolutely.
what are you expecting from people, and you normally are not happy because you expected people to do something in a particular way and they didn't do it that way.
Too much.
But then but then when you ask yourself a question, that I also reacting with you as you expect me to. So if I can't react, or I can't behave, or I can't respond to you the way you want me to, then why should I respond to you the same way, or so I should expect from you the same way. Okay, so that was again nice. I think we've covered that well. Okay, let me just elaborate a little bit on this. In your Navi Mumbai, Sister Shivani came, and that same Brigadier Dharam Prakash I told you, he's a
Yeah.
very strong follower, and he and his family, they go to Mount Abu at least once a year.
Yeah. Yeah. We also go. Yeah.
Acha. So he one day, told me that would you like to listen to Sister Shivani? And he's the one who had presented me this CD of her happiness. So I said yes, and he said she's talking about happiness. So I went there, and the moment I got out of my car and I started walking towards the venue, there was
Mm.
a red carpet. There were people in white dress on both sides. There was a loudspeaker with very soft devotional music going on. There were banners all over to say maintain silence, Om Shanti, all that stuff. Okay. And then there were banners which said, a big mobile with a cross on it, ki don't, keep your mobiles on silent and all that. I entered the hall. The hall was already about 60% full, and the hall had a capacity of about 700 people. And there was no sound, only because about 500 people sitting there. There was nobody was talking because of that environment that she had created. So anyway, the talk started, and after about 10 minutes of her talk, there was one phone that rang. At the moment the phone rang, a lot of people around that person whose phone rang started yelling at him. So she said, Om Shanti Shanti. She said, what happened? And people won't answer. Then she pointed to somebody close by and said, you tell me what happened.
Hmm.
तो ही से इसका फोन बज गया. तो उसने बोला क्या हुआ. तो जब सबको बोला गया है कि फोन नहीं बजना तो क्यों बज गया. तो she said, oh, so you are accusing him that he has disobeyed an order. How many people in this hall have never had a phone ring when it shouldn't have rung? How many
Yeah.
of you? So there was nobody who could raise his hand because सबका phone कभी ना कभी बजा है, because either you forgot or there was an alarm or something happened, or you forgot. You thought
Yeah.
that you switched it off, but you didn't. Thing like that. So she said, "See, now nobody has raised his hand. तो अगर उसका बज गया तो क्या हो गया?" Then she said, "What?" अच्छा, then he asked another person, "You tell me what annoyed you?" बोला, "The phone." So she picked up a phone and she said, "ये जो phone है ना, ये जो आपके हाथ में फोन है, आप इसके
Hmm.
मैन्युफैक्चरर से पता करना, इसमें कोई फीचर ही नहीं है जो आपको अनॉय कर सके. The phone has no capability to annoy you.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
annoyed you was your thought,
Yeah.
and you can control your thoughts more than anyone else can.
Yes,
So she said,
absolutely.
मैंने बोला सबको कि फोन नहीं बजना चाहिए.
Hmm.
All these banners and all are my instructions because I desire a
Hmm.
environment like that. But
Hmm.
do I always get what I desire? No. And when I don't get what I desire, I want to live with it. And
Yes.
also now I've trained myself that when this phone rang, the call in my mind was that बेचारा भूल गया होगा.
Yeah.
और और
Absolutely.
आपका सो आपको अनॉय किसने किया? आपके थॉट ने कि ये कसूरवार है. ये
Absolutely.
कसूरवार है. You thought that way, and I thought poor chap forgot about it. So if this is understood that it is my attitude, and that comes to another thing, I've heard you say that before, that happiness is an attitude,
It's
and
an
happiness
attitude.
also
Yeah.
is a skill that you can learn. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate this, which you always say that happiness is a
Yeah.
skill?
Absolutely. Because, like the story itself, so I'll give you one small story that my in my early when I got married, I was giving hazard mistakes of my husband to my dad, and I was telling he doesn't listen to me, he's this, he's that, and whatever. And actually, he's a very cool guy, And my dad will always take his side. And when I was telling all these things to my husband, my dad was listening to me, and then he said, "Are you perfect? Are you perfect?" So I said, "No, I'm not perfect." He says, "Then stop complaining." And those things have stuck with me in my life because it's very easy to point faults at somebody else. Very, very easy to point faults. And we all have a fault finding machine in us. And that fault finding machine is very big, telescopic view it has. And it will go and find the smallest mistakes in the world, in the situation, in the environment, in the people in our lives. And we are wasting so much of time. You are a time management person, sir. We are wasting so much of our time trying to correct the people in our lives, and that is the number one cause of our unhappiness. The number two thing is that something is going to be happening wrong in your life. Somebody is going to throw a brick bat at you, somebody is going to throw some stone at you. You're not going to, every time, you can't sit and react to every small little thing. Sir is not there. So my point is that there will be challenges thrown at you, and as the challenges are being thrown at you, what are we doing about these challenges? Are we reacting too much? And when we react too much to a particular thing, it is better, and we spoil the situation completely, and we get into what is known as unhappiness, and we get into what is stressful situations. Instead of that, if what we can do is we can just pause, take a step back, breathe a bit little, and when we breathe, we realize that no, 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 I'm not going to go in this argument. I'm not going to go in this particular direction. This is a stressful situation. And from there, then we take a step back, and then we skill ourselves to be a happier person. In NLP, we have anchors. Everybody knows about anchors. So we use certain anchors. So now in my life, I'm 42 years married, and I use some anchors that my husband is a very nice person, and I'm not going to get upset with him. I'm not going to get angry with him, because there is compassion in this man. Whatever he is saying is for my good. And then using these anchors in my life, I skill myself to not become a complaining person, to not become a grumbling person, to not become what is known as an agitated person. Today, I find the youngsters are very agitated for small things. That gussa is sitting on their nose, the anger is sitting over here. Just little bit of inconvenience, little bit of a discomfort, and they throw themselves out, and that's affecting their mental health, their physical health, their blood pressure, and the health is declining. So I would say that skilling happiness means making habits to understand what is resilience. People are throwing anger at you. People are expecting too much from you. But what am I doing about it? Life is not what happens to you. Life is what you respond to what happens to you. Hazar things are happening to us. So are you responding with a lot of love and affection? Are you responding with anger? And if you're responding with anger, then you're never going to be happy. Then that is where the soul is unhappy, your mind is unhappy, your heart is unhappy. And when your inside is unhappy, how can you be a happier person? So it's skilling yourself with happiness is making the habits of happiness, that I'm not going to get upset with little things in my life, and telling yourself again and again, using them as anchors, using them as habit formation. So according to me, happiness becomes an ultimate habit. It becomes a habit because your brain is nothing but a place where the habits are being wound and rewired. Whatever habits you cultivate in your childhood, in your life, they get recorded inside your brain and your subconscious mind. So whatever you're doing as a child, you can continue to do it, and you can also change, because today the brain is it's a changeable thing. It is neuroplastic, and the neuroplasticity says that when you do a thing for 10 days, 21 days, 31 days continuously, it becomes a habit. And that's what I'm talking about. Not to get upset for little things. Control your anger, take a breath. When you take a breath, you go into the parasympathetic system. So your pulse comes down, your blood pressure comes down, the calmness comes to you. You can close your eyes for a second. Just like when we go for a lecture, when we go for a talk on the stage, we are stressed out. So we cool ourselves down and we reduce that anxiety and the stress. And that is what I'm talking about, is can be used as a habit every day. And when we do this every day, it becomes a habit, and it gets recorded in your brain, and it becomes, that's how you wire your brain for happiness. So not to get upset for small things. Find happiness in small things. Be grateful for little things in your life. This is one of my stories of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm absolutely in agreement with you. And you know, when you talked about today's generation, इनका जो फ्यूज है ना, वो फ्यूज जल्दी उड़ जाता है. बहुत पतला फ्यूज है इनका. So हमारे बचपन में एक चीज सिखाई जाती थी, टॉलरेंस.
Yeah.
For example, in our families, the mothers used to teach to their daughters that when you get married and you go to your in-laws, so you have to learn to tolerate certain things. But today, one small thing, and the mothers also teach कि वहाँ कोई problem होगी ना, आ जाना वापस, our doors are open to you. So that has actually made this both ways.
Yeah.
Neither that was very good, nor this is very good. But
Yeah.
yes. So I've got this beautiful message come from Tejinder. He
Hmm.
is Brigadier Wadhwa. And he says, the secret to inner peace and happiness is the correct balance between expectation and
And
acceptance. Very
yes.
good. Okay. So, and we also got Aditya agreeing with Alka.
Hmm.
He will always agree with Alka because that is his mind is also anchored to that Alka
No,
is a
no,
happy.
no. Because his name is from A and my name is also from A. That is why we agree a lot. But I tell you what, the beauty of life is that when we are in sync with each other's thoughts, as a leader, I would say that try to go down to the level of your team members, and each person is different. Each person of your team is different. Each person's culture is different. The background is different. So I see that in my clinic also. When I go down to their level, absolutely their level, and I talk to them with the way they have been brought up. I'm not saying become very friendly with them, but at least talk to them in their own language. So because life is all about being what you're exposed to in your life. If somebody is not exposed to something, he doesn't know about it. He doesn't know etiquette if he's coming from a small place or a small village. So how do we teach them etiquette? How do we teach them how to greet the patient, how to greet the people in your life? So I would say that it is about going down to the level of your intelligence of that person, accepting the person, knowing the person, and then treating them with a lot of love and affection. So as you rightly said, Brigadier, that they forget what you said, but they forget how you made them feel. So making them feel nice and respected. Today youngsters, they want respect. I get these children all the time, 16, 17, 18, 19 years of children coming to my clinic. And I tell you one thing, they're so intelligent, they're so smart, but their parents are not giving them respect. The parents are telling them, these people talk like this, these people do like this, these people. And I was talking to this young boy the other day, and he told me that, why are we labeled as these people? Why am I become a part of these people? I'm a good boy. I want to do this, I want to do that. So I think not talking to them in a condescending way is very helpful. Talking to them at the level of what they are, and listening to them is very, very important. Today, if we are not listening to the people in our in our community, in our team, in our family, then we are going off the human connection, and that is the reason of declining mental health today. I would say happiness comes second, discipline comes first, and before discipline comes, the people in the house have to talk to each other. Today I see that families don't talk to each other. My One of my elderly patient was telling me, ma'am, you told me to become, so he said my son is very busy, he doesn't have a wife actually. So my son is very busy, he has no time to talk to me, he comes home, he sleeps late, I have my dinner alone, I have my lunch alone, I have my breakfast alone. So I told him one thing that day. I said, do one thing, try to become friends with him on Facebook and communicate with him on Facebook. So after 15 days or 1 month, when he came to me, he told me that from 15 days, I'm trying to become friends. I've sent him a friend's request, but he's not even accepting my friend's request. So this is very bad, because a father and a son, if you're staying under the same roof and if you're not having the time to talk to each other, where is the father going to go? And this is the cause of the declining health, mental health of the father. But same thing is happening in the young generation. The youngsters, they're not being heard. Their parents are not listening to them. Today I have young children, they're being told, you do engineering. A girl was told to do civil engineering, and she had become so fat because she was so depressed, she was doing emotional eating. So where are we? We're not listening to each other, we're not even seeing what each other's wants and needs are, and then we are thopifying them, you have to do this and you have to do that, and then labeling them that they're very entitled. Why are we labeling them? We should not be labeling them that they're very entitled, because they're all, the children are not the same. They are responsible, they are committed, they are consistent. I do find the youngsters being very, very looking for directions in their life. So the human connection comes when we go down to that level, talk to them, and they become happier people. And that makes me happy when I talk to them with their level. And I can tell you that, sir, you're a mentor. When you are mentoring, you don't look for the person to be at a higher level. You go down to that person's level and then you mentor that person. So that is where the human connection and the happiness comes. And we have to skill at it and work at it and work at it. It's a 24/7 job. It's a lifetime job of habit creating. Not to get upset with little things, like Tejinder Singh said, acceptance and expectation, a balance between the two. Thank you so much.
So well explained, so well explained. And I totally agree with you that this thing about these people, that is a big attitude. You see, when I used to be running this camp and I used to get students, can you imagine that a girl, she must have been about 8 or 9. We used to normally take children above 10, but this girl was a part of a school team that came from Delhi, from uh, DPS Mathura Road, and she said that uh, she was, I mean, like, the principal took special permission that this girl can't be left alone here, so the teachers will take care. So on that condition, we allowed her. So she's playing around somewhere and she comes to me and I said, "Are you happy?" She says, "Very happy." Then I got talking to her and then she asked me herself. She said, "Sir, you want to know why I am on this camp?" I said, "Yeah, tell me."
Hmm.
She said, "My parents had to go on a holiday. They didn't know where to dump me."
Oh my God.
Now, look at an 8-year-old girl being given this impression by the parents. They may or may not really, it may not be a true thing. Agreed, it may not be true. But
Hmm.
that is the communication, that is the way it is received by the girl. And I think it should be the parents' concern to see that this type of thing doesn't happen, right? So, Alka, we have come to the end of our stream, and this is
Yeah.
the time I would take a little pause and ask our viewers, is there anyone who has a question that you would like Alka to answer? I would be very happy to do that. In the meantime, uh, we will, if Alka, you can share in the chat or otherwise
Mm-hmm.
your details, or otherwise, I will on all the three platforms send you her address. If you want to connect her, want to learn something about happiness from her, want to learn something about NLP, about life. She has such a vast knowledge and experience. She's gone through so much. And the best part is, whenever I've gone to Singapore for this APSS convention, and she's coming along with me now next week, you know what happens? Sir, are you going? I said, yes, I'm also coming. She's prepared, she's prepared to step out. And when you step out, you show up at different places, you get to know more, you get more experience. When you get more experience, you learn from others. So that is what she does. She just come back from Rome. She was roaming around there a lot, and now she's back here and on to Singapore. So she is
I want
also
to
got,
share. I want to share something what happened in Rome. So
yeah.
we had it was an osteoporosis conference, and in osteoporosis means it's a fragility of the bone. So what happens is as we age, our bone density becomes lesser and lesser, and after the age of 50, the bone density declines very fast in women and in men. So there. And I run a senior citizens club where we are already doing a lot of physical activity with these senior citizens. I'm running it for more than 10 years. So what I found there, I actually spoke over there. What I found there was they were talking about a session of the role of arts, music, and dance in the treatment of your bones. But bone is not bone. Bone is the muscle, and the bone and the kidney talk to each other, and there's a cross talk between all the organs inside your body. And the tango, they showed how the tango helps you to do an exercise of your body, and how it sets in the rhythm in your body, and how you can take care of your bones. So it is basically, I shared with them that my senior citizens, what happened 10 years back, they were very sad. It comes with happiness. That's what I'm going to tell you. A community brings happiness. And when we collected together all these people, and we used to talk to each other and share with each other, sharing brings happiness. You realize that the opposite person has the same problems like I have. After sharing, they told me that, can you teach us Gita? I said, no, I don't know the Gita. But they were reading the Gita and they started teaching me the Gita. And I learned so much from them. And over a period of time, we were doing talking and speaking. And one day we started doing singing, and then we started doing dancing. And then one of the ladies said, why not we have a choreographer? And the choreographer came and we started doing dancing. You won't believe it, Brigadier Sir. These women and men together, we have been performing on stage for the last 10 years. And now, today, I can very proudly say that they perform one dance every month. And this one dance, they go and perform on different platforms. And today, they are the happiest people. You know why? Because the तालियों की गुनगुनाहट, that when they get the applause, they become so happy. So applause makes you happy, performance makes you happy, movement makes you happy. Sitting in your air conditioner room is not going to make you happy. Stepping out, showing up makes you happy. And I'm very proud to say that we are writing a book with these people. They're sharing their stories, and their stories have to be told. And the stories I'm recording, and I'm saying it, aapki kahani, aapki zabani. And these stories, I'm going to publish it into a book, because our youngsters have to know and listen to these stories. They are stories of adaptability, they are stories of resilience and a lot of struggle in our lives. All these people who are 75, 85 plus, they really inspire me and they give me happiness. And more than happiness, I get significance when I spend time with these people. They give me meaning in my life. So happiness and meaning in your life is totally interlinked. Money cannot buy all of these things. Money cannot buy any of these things. This is my last message. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. But Alka, you just gave me a scare, big
Why?
scare,
Why?
because you said the senior citizens, old people are 75, 85. I'm going to be, I'm going to be 75 in just 1 year's time. And Alka, I'm not going to come into your senior
No,
citizens
no, no.
life.
You are not. It's your mental age, not your chronological age. It's your mental age. It's your what you think you are. So, like, I'm only 16 years of age, and you can say that you're 17 years of age. So you don't come in that category. Neither do I come in that category. So it's
I
perfectly
don't know why I know why you said you are 16 and I am 17. I could always say that I am 15 and you are 16.
Ah, okay. I'm always 16, so you can be 15 also. No problem about that. I was remembering the song of Sound of Music.
Yeah. Okay.
You, yeah.
So now tell me one thing. Although you said this was my last one, but I
Hmm.
still wanted to know. And
Hmm.
if you think the last thing that you said is something that you wanted to really say, I
Hmm.
wanted to ask you that if you were to leave with a strong message to the
Hmm.
audience today, what is
Hmm.
that one tip that you would like to give it to them? Or is it what
Ji-
you just spoke?
No, the last one message that I want to give is जीना क्या अजी प्यार बिना जीवन के यूं ही 4 दिना चार दिन की जिंदगी है उसे प्यार से बिताओ उसे खुशी से बिताओ दैट इज माय ओनली मैसेज
Wow, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. So now let me see if anyone has got any questions. So I am seeing all these small gratitude messages. Uh, 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 uh. Of course, Aditya is all out to say so true, and humility is another. Yeah, that's what he says here. Humility is another great
yeah
attitude to
yeah
stay
yeah
happy.
yeah
Okay, and so true and all that. And yeah, I think this that will be great. I think he's talking about the connecting you to people. So yes, I will make sure, at least on LinkedIn for sure, I will share Alka's email ID and everything, and a phone
Hmm.
number. Should I give your phone number to these people? Do they
yeah
need?
yeah
Oh
you
yes.
can give a phone number to everybody because I don't pick up any phone number
I
They
also
don't
say,
phone number they do. I call back. I always call back. I never not call back. That's my nature that I always see. I'm in the clinic. I get patients' phone numbers all the time. Patients call. So I keep it on silent, but I always call back. So I'll call back. No problem.
and I always think that an unknown number is a potential person who needs my help.
Yeah.
Could be a client, could not be a client, doesn't matter, but anyone who needs my help. So I look at it like that. Okay. So now we have come to the end, and I am now last looking for any questions. I'll just give another 2 minutes for that.
So I want
Uh,
to ask you one question. I want to ask
yeah.
Brigadier Hussain one question. How does you are a time management person, you are a goal setting person, you're all into discipline, and I'm also into discipline. So how do you think discipline can help anybody to become a happier person?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Because when you live a disciplined life, and we are talking about, when I talk about discipline, I always say it is about self discipline.
Yes.
Self discipline ka definition, firstly, you have to understand, which some people do and most people don't, that it is doing what you ought to do. And what we ought to do, we always know. Our parents told us, our community told us, our religion told us, our nation told us, whatever. So we know कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, झूठ नहीं बोलना है, चोरी नहीं करनी, we all know that. पर हम फिर भी चोरी भी कर लेते हैं. अगर पैसे नहीं करते हैं तो आइडियाज की कर लेते हैं, दिल की कर लेते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ चोरी कर ही लेते हैं. Then so we know, so doing what you ought to do even when you don't feel like doing it, and when
Absolutely.
nobody is watching you. If these
Yes.
two, so if you have put on a seat belt
Mm.
when you leave home, it is self discipline. But when you put on the seat belt when you see a cop, it is discipline. Then
Yes.
you're doing it out of fear कि चालान हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So you're not worried about what is meant for. It's not meant for the policeman. It's meant for your safety. Okay.
Yes.
Now coming to that, when you followed a disciplined life, and discipline is you setting your line of minimum, maximum, that this is what I'll do, this is what I'll not do. So when you stay in a disciplined life, what happens is things happen in more predicted manner, because you know what you have to do, and that brings in less stress. Because
Yes.
both in time management and goal setting, I am very strong believer of saying this, that uh, when what do you call, sorry, I just saw Aditya's message and it distracted me. He said, Alka, when
Yeah.
do we see you in Pune? Okay, yeah. So I was coming back to that. When people say that I'm stressed,
Mm.
90% of the people, that's my view, and it's a very personal view, may or may not be acceptable by everyone. 90% of the time you have stress, that 90 could be 95, could be 80, I don't know. I don't have statistics, that is just my intuition. That this stress comes from unplanned activities. If you are
Yes.
disciplined, you have planned your day. If you plan your day, you will be less stressed. But when you start responding or reacting, not even responding, reacting to circumstances because you didn't
Yeah.
give a thought to it.
Yeah.
See, if I know I'm stepping out of the house and it's a rainy season, but there's beautiful sun, but I know that sometimes even when I'm going in sun, by the time I
Mm.
come, it may rain.
Raining.
Because I've given a thought to it and I've said what all can go wrong today, and one of the things that can rain and my suit will get spoiled. I take an umbrella. If I take my umbrella, I'll never be stressed.
Yeah.
But if I don't take it and it rains, now either I'm stuck up somewhere, I don't move out because my suit is expensive, or
Mm.
I then, if I have to do whatever I have to read, I spoil my suit. So stress to hogi na, only because you didn't plan it, you didn't think about it. So
या
if
तो
you have
या तो फिर
control,
आपका या,
या तो
या तो आपका एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए कि भाड़ में गया सूट आई विल गेट इट ड्राई क्लीन टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू गेट बेट इन द रेन
yeah, yeah, attitude वो हो, ठीक है? अच्छा. But otherwise, I'm saying any circumstance, any
या
other example also where you get stressed because things didn't happen because you didn't plan them that way. That's very
यस
important.
या
How did
वेरी
you
इंपॉर्टेंट
plan your day? And then another thing I'll tell you, that there's something which in the army there's a principle, and I think both Tejinder and they will know uh, that it is about foresight.
यस
Foresight is that
प्रोएक्टिव
can. So I do know. I'll tell you one again something I learned in the army. If I'm going for an event, let's say I'm going to speak, so I just close my eyes and say, okay, what all will happen? Okay, I will go from here in the car. I may this a traffic time. So firstly, I will want to be there much earlier. So okay, I will leave earlier. Point one. Then I will say that I will ask tell myself, okay, what if this doesn't happen? What if that mic doesn't work? What if that clicker doesn't work? So I carry my clicker, I carry my mic. What am I doing? I'm trying to obviate all possible things that can go wrong.
या
Now, if I go there, if I prepared for all this and one thing goes wrong and I learn how to live with it, I will
या
not get stressed out. But I know of many people who have started shouting at the organizers that why is the mic not working and all that, or showing the anger. There's one video of mine where even you'll see me saying that, only my face is showing that I'm angry that the mic is not working. So that was one of my first speeches, and I learned it. I said, "Nee, I am not going to depend on the organizer now. Still, I
या
have to. The stage is his. If the stage breaks off, you know,
या
I've seen a person who tripped from the stage because of some wires and fell down from a 4 feet high stage and
ओ
fractured his legs.
ओ
Okay,
माय
so that can also happen,
या
but that is not your fault. But at least जो आप प्रिवेंट कर सकते हो वो तो करो, और जब वो करोगे तो आपको फिर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी.
absolutely. And one thing I forgot to tell was that this is for everyone. Have a hobby. Do something which you really really love to do. Take out the time for doing something. It could be gardening, it could be cooking, it could be just writing, it could be reading, it could be anything. So our children today are sitting in front of the screens all the time, and they don't have time for their hobbies. Nobody is reading, nobody is writing, they're not even playing outside. Even I'm nowadays I'm calling playing as a hobby because they don't have time to play because their parents are forcing them to study and study. So for all of us of all age groups, I heard one quote, that do something creative. The creativity and the repetitive activity that you do in your life brings about a change in the shape and the function of your brain, and that makes you a happier person. I have a lady today, a patient who was on antipsychotic medicines From 15 years, she was taking antipsychotic medicines, and today I'm very proud to say that she stopped all her medications because she's become a happier person because she's indulging into her hobbies. She's very much occupied into whatever she wants to do, what she loves to do, which she could not do 15 years back. And this has been proven time and again. Painting hair, cooking hair, whatever it is, when you indulge into these activities, it produces happy hormones inside of you, and that makes you change the structure of your brain and your subconscious mind, and you become a much happier and harmonious person. When we talk about the Brahma Kumaris, and when they are living with 40,000 people at a time at Mount Abu, and when you see there is complete harmony and peace inside, the reason is they're busy doing their work. They're not finding faults with the world. They're not finding faults with the bureaucracy. They're very creatively trained, and they creatively work with each other in empathy. They work together so beautifully. They're into each other, and I'm also attached to this organization, and I learn a lot from them. And in earlier stages, there used to be one lady sitting in front, staying in front of me. She had sister Sheila Didi, she was, and she started her small center of Brahma Kumaris, and today she has gone into a big building after 35 years. So I learn a lot from these people, and the harmony and the peace, if we really want to create inside of us, we have to become like them. Stop font finding, become creative, and concentrate on yourself and on your inner journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alka. That was brilliant. And I think now we will close. I want to
Yes.
tell everyone that we will be back every alternative Wednesday. And today we had to shift from a Wednesday because of Alka's roaming. And so next time, next time it will be Wednesday, but we are going to shift the time from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. A lot of
Yeah.
people said that they are in the office, they can't come at 5. So that's what we'll do. We may shift the timings also. Sometimes we get international speakers whose time zone does not permit 5 or 7. So I want everyone to be prepared for that. Now, some of you who have not been able to join at this time because it's your office time or whatever, the recordings are there in YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So we look forward to more responses from you, and connect with us if you want anything more, uh, whether it is on happiness, whether it is on leadership, whether it is on time management, all that. Uh,
Thank you.
and thanks a lot, Alka, for being here. Thank you for contributing so wonderfully. And thanks to
Flexible.
all of you, particularly, I'm talking about Tejinder, I'm talking about Apeksha, I'm talking about Aditya, I'm talking about Shefali. Shefali, I have not been able to, every time I've been trying to show your, now it has come with a lot of difficulty. This was not showing up. I don't know why
Mm.
there's some technical problem. Now even I'm pressing 10
Mm.
times and once it's happening. Okay. So that is how technology can make your wishes. And again, don't get annoyed about it. Just take it as a part, because otherwise you
Be flexible, like how Brigadier Basin is flexible.
yeah, yeah.
Wednesday हो गया, कोई बात नहीं. Friday हो गया, कोई बात नहीं, कोई और दिन हो गया. It's all right. I mean, that is life. Flexibility is again the step to
And
happiness.
I said, Alka, 7 o'clock. She said, but 7 o'clock, I've got another event, and that's also a PSA event, so understand that. Anyway,
Yeah.
what Shefali was saying, which I couldn't show you, was planning goes a long way. Yes, Shefali, it
Yeah.
does. Thank you for being there, Shefali.
Yeah.
And I think, and Ram Prasad Lal, thank you very
Yeah.
much for being there. I think
Yeah.
by now he's gone, but at least if he hears the recording, he'll know
Yeah.
that we thanked him. So that's all. Thank you very much. And thank you, Apeksha, for all the back end support. You are the pillar of my strength, Apeksha, and without you, I can't work. Thank you very much. I acknowledge all that.
Thank you.
Gratitude to everyone. Gratitude to
Thank
Alka.
you, sir. Thank you very much for having
Gratitude
me
to
on your
everyone
show.
who came here, and gratitude to Apeksha. Bye bye. See
Bye.
you next show, another 15 days from now. Bye bye.
Yes.
Even end stream is not happening.
नहीं आ रहा है?
पता नहीं नेटवर्क इशू है कि क्या है. ओ,
इन स्ट्रीम नहीं आ रहा.
अब होगा आई थिंक.